Yeah, speaking of which, all right, so I guess we got to talk about the other big news of the weekend here, which was the AEW Collision, that if you were watching it live and expecting to see the last 2 matches on the card, which were, I didn't know they were called Crew. What is that? Action Andretti and Leo Rush.
Yeah, new name.
Yeah, Crew. I mean, Action Andretti, this big star since he beat Chris Jericho 6 months ago or a year
6
ago.
months ago.
Whatever it was. I don't know.
2 years ago.
Was it that long?
Yes.
Jesus. Man, time is
at least.
Yeah. Well, we also know the other match that no one would have been excited about was Squealer Useless versus
I was ready.
Who should be the biggest damn star on this friggin' show right now is Powerhouse Hobbs. Okay, second biggest. The biggest star on the show right now should be Samoa Joe with Powerhouse Hobbs as a calypso. Well, he's not on the show. I'm just saying of who's there. Wardlow should absolutely be, but like if Joe should be your champion and Powerhouse Hobbs should either be trying to beat him or maybe like running through as the TNT champ. I don't know. But either way, if you wanted to watch either of those matches, what you got was The Rock canceling a Collision. Okay, maybe not canceling, but just ending it 90 minutes into a 2-hour show. It ends and cuts to Black Adam, which I still haven't actually seen the Black Adam movie, but I hear it wasn't that great. And they decided to air that anyway. I don't know what happened. There was a lot of different excuses. There was a lot of BS. I've tried to Google and figure out what happened, but
everyone's got an opinion, and everyone's opinion's not wrong.
Right. It's just, but
you just don't know.
There's opinion, but then there's when you see AEW on TV post, due to technical difficulties, the East Coast airing was cut short, but the West Coast airing will be unaffected. The West Coast airing was totally affected. The West Coast airing did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I have on my TV. I can do because for me, I was out for my mom's birthday dinner during the East Coast airing. Got home, saw on Twitter what happened, put my TV to TNT West Coast, and watched it happen. You also could have
Chicago. I was in Chicago, right?
Yeah, right. No, it was because it was Beach Break in Chicago. I don't know if it's
why.
Yeah, well, remember when they did friggin'
yes, I'm heading that way.
Yeah, right. There was was it the beach? Was it Collision or not? Cleveland. They did. Was it the other Beach Break? Was it a beach one for that one too?
Beach
like
Blast or something? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, or whatever they did. But
why not go? Why not just go to Jacksonville?
I'm right. Like there's I mean, and speaking of Chicago, they're about to do a residency there. They're going to do a residency in Chicago and a residency at the 2600 Arena, where now TK no longer stands for Tony Khan. It stands for Town Killer. Like those shows are not going to sell. Nobody wants to see 6 shows. Oh God. Sorry.
See, some people like the idea. I'm not
opposed to it.
They've already killed Chicago.
Right. Exactly.
So now
I feel like Philadelphia,
Philadelphia,
Philadelphia, because it's the 2600 Arena and it's smaller, you do have the shot of getting away with it for a bit. But yeah, Chicago, I don't even know where they're trying to do it there. But if it's not someplace small, I don't know. Speaking of lying, though, and what Tony does, Tony also posted this, where it's like, it's available all devices as the West Coast, and it wasn't available until later in the day. I'm not sure if it ever got on Max, to be honest. I heard a few different things there. I never checked, but no matter what they said or what they did, the bottom line, back to what we said previously, hey, this is what you got. This picture cracks me up with the logo due to technical difficulties. Oh my God. Just how
one thing they got going though is the fact that during the hockey games on TNT, they do advertise Dynamite in the upper graphic.
Okay,
I've never seen that before, and I'm like, well, there's a win there. So
that's better. That's at least trying. That's at least showing it out there. Because if it was just a commercial, that's one thing. But actually, no, that's, I guess, what is that, brand integration? I guess on some level, they're trying. I mean, barely, but they're trying. Kind of like Alvarez tries to get the right answers out of Dave, but then quits.
I'm sorry. So I kind of asked you to Google something for me.
Yeah, no, that was I was ready to get into is where we were trying to pull up these exact pictures and talk about. Well, first I tried to figure out what was going on, so I was trying to read the articles and tweets, but then I'm like, well, I got to grab some shots for the show. I Google search, and we'll pull up this one here first, right? Just by Google search, AEW Collision cut short. This was the first thing that popped up. Look at that, guys. Like we've made it into the algorithm. I think I mean, it's I'm not one to toot our own horns or kind of like celebrate, but damn it, that was cool for me. Like I'm like, wait, made that? That's us. And honestly, it was a great conversation between you, me, and Phil talking about it, where we got to talk about that, talk about Dave, talk about I mean, pretty much everything. We covered everything from the start, the beginning of his show, all the way through like our favorite movies and matches. Like that was, if you guys haven't gone and listened to it, please go back and listen to those conversations. I feel like Sunday Spaces has really kind of shown what we're about. We're conversationalists. I really like that format of, you kind of present us questions and then the guest talks and I can talk, because I feel like that's my best interactions. Like I can get the most out of people and interact with them and kind of get different sides of the stories that you don't normally hear, like we did with RJ Krasinski and Kevin Apollo. Still was just like one of those conversations where I just was like a smarter person after I left that conversation. Can't ask for much better than that. So yeah, no, it was a really cool moment though for me to see that everybody who searched for us brought us into things and share and like and interacting with us. We appreciate every single one of you guys.
So all in all, Collision was just, I'm waiting to see what the damage control is going to start being this coming soon. So
well,
started, but it's not really gone yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's another one of those things where I feel like they're just going to sweep it under the rug. Like they always try to do, just like, nope, didn't happen. Move forward. Like,
and this, I give them the bet. I don't think it's their fault. I'm going to say it. I don't think it's AEW's fault. I really don't.
And that's one of those things where I was trying to find out, because I saw something that it was the technical difficulties in how it was being put out by TNT, but I also saw something where there was an issue with recording and delivery. But that doesn't make sense because they recorded it on Thursday. If it was live, I would fully put the blame on AEW, and you wouldn't be able to convince me any different. But a taped show, it almost feels like whoever was like setting it up for the thing just got their times wrong and was like, we're going to start Black Adam at, 8:30, but they meant to start it at 9. I don't know. Yeah. I really don't.
We'll probably never actually know.
I feel like we will, but
everything in AEW,
later.
We don't really know.
Yeah, I feel like we need, once Tony either has the mental breakdown or whatever happens and they do finally shut down and all those NDAs run out, we're either going to get, if Dark Side of the Ring is still a thing, we're going to get the best episode ever of that, or maybe a full season, or maybe like it'll be like that Death of WCW, but like a full 10. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who are going to have a lot of things to say. And as we saw with what they're talking about with the AEW book, they're not going to talk about it there. They didn't interview Cody, Brandy, Punk, Regal, none of them. So they're not going to tell us now, but maybe it'll be like, I was going to say like the Kennedy assassination, but weren't they supposed to announce that and they didn't?
Well, they did.
All right.
They brought the files out, which
but it was just nothing. Right. Exactly. It was like, again, as Cornette would say, it was a wet fart. Yeah. No, I just, I would love to know exactly what it was, but I don't think we ever will. But there's definitely somebody effed up though. That's for sure. Who and what and where? I'm just
going on record. I'm giving AEW the benefit of the doubt in this one.
I give you that. I'll give you that. Well, and that's the thing too, is where easily it's because obviously the people have shown, like I've seen a couple of videos on Twitter or whatever of people showing like the compilation of the botches that AEW has had. But also there's a part of those compilations, it's not AEW's fault. Like when I know there was one time where like the sound of a basketball came through. They're not the ones in that's not their fault, And there was a couple other ones where like different things that you could see were TNT's fault, like, where they ended or put up different graphics or whatever. That happened once with Collision 2 as well, didn't it? Where they had like the scene missing almost kind of graphic, or like what should have been just in typeface in front of you.
There's been a lot more than there should be. Let's go with
that. I feel like their weekend crew at TNT, maybe there's a reason they work weekends. I don't know. It's just... Oof. Well, bad look though. Bad look, especially when they're trying to always be competitive. But as I've said from day one of doing this show and said for years before, they should just focus on themselves and not worry about competing. Don't talk about WWE. Don't think about WWE. Think about your show and making your matches and your stories better and more important, as opposed to just spamming finishers for 22 minutes every match and having every match where like, yeah, the crowd's pumped. Let's go to the finish. No. All right. I'm sitting down. 6 minutes later to roll up.
And think about what you, the viewers, are going to say this week on Spaces, because it's your show, people.
Yes, please bring some questions. We will go live. I'll make a graphic and post it for sure. But I feel like, yeah, if they're going live, if their show starts, because the pay-per-view starts at 8, right? But they're going to do the pre-show.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can go. Yeah.
30 done.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, I'll make a graphic. We'll post that out. That'll be good. And then, yeah, the next week we've got Johnny Bottles and more guests that George keeps booking for us. So I will edit these and clip these up and get them posted as fast as we can so we can bring more people in. Share the videos. If you're not sure how to share them, just go to my X and either just retweet it or go to copy the link from YouTube and share it with your wrestling friends. We're trying to involve more. They can come on Spaces as well. Or leave a comment. We still have viewer comments to read, but with me being out of commission for a while and so much going on, but we've got them. We'll read them. Don't worry. Hey, and the longer we wait, just the more people that'll watch it because we get more views every video. So love it.
We're working
awesome,
with you people.
We are, and we want you guys to be a part of it. So keep interacting. We'll keep going on. I will keep responding to all the comments as well. So thanks everybody. Please, again, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we will catch you next time.